What is a conservative? A conservative is generally thought of as somebody that's traditional and reserved. They prefer the past to the future, and as such, the left has taken advantage of this and characterized the right as being anti-progress and stuck in old traditional ways that aren't, well, for the sake of a better word, aren't very liberal. And this has tended to put conservatives in the position of fighting a defensive war, or putting up a defensive front against the forward marching liberals who are bringing in progress in the new world. It's not pertinent in many ways that a lot of the new developments aren't things that we agree with, because of course this is what it typifies us, is that we won't agree with changes. So our reaction to the new curriculum and the multi multi-letter sexuality and gender of the present isn't of any surprise, and indeed it's of very little importance, because this is just the reaction of a conservative to any change. So of course the word conservative tends to conjure up this kind of knee-jerk reaction to anything that our grandfathers didn't know about. And this is unfortunate, because this isn't really what a conservative is about. Which then leads us to the question of what is a conservative? How best ought we to portray ourselves? And the answer to this is that we are the association, or the group that is for labor. And this may seem odd. It's not the association normally made, but the conservative being for tradition and for the traditional way of doing things is really founded on a power of labor. The value of work, our desire to pay our own way, to be accountable for the costs we create, and not to create costs for others, manifested in our dislike of large government, is because we are people who earn our way. We're workers. And conservatives are simply people who want to give value for what they get and ensure people give value for the value they get. So this is also manifested in our association with free markets. The problem that conservatives have encountered is because the rich have jumped on our coattails, as it were. They like our values because this is what benefits them. Hardworking people who want to give value for what they get is precisely what the wealthy want, the elites want. They want a group of people who are controlling and self-reliant up into where it comes to work, at least anyway, because they want us in their factories and their stores and so on. The best way to look at a conservative is as a community person, as a person who supports the community as the center of accountability, the proper source of accountability, as it were. Liberals, and with these I include the rich and the politicians and so on, try to put accountability onto the individual, and of course the individual is a very biased observer of what his value is and what the costs are that he's creating. So the debate between liberal and conservative is really a debate about the loci of accountability. Are we accountable for our actions to ourselves, or are we accountable for our actions to the community? And if you understand the distinction between conservative and liberal, you'll understand far better what we see going around us. The liberal and the liberal agenda is to download more and more of the decision-making process onto the individual rather than the community. And the conservative is trying to say, we as a community have a right to have some input into this. And that's all the argument is about. Do communities have a right to make decisions about what is going on within their geographical extent? That's all it is.